spatial awareness. We'll talk about spatial awareness, what it is, its importance, and how to design with spatial awareness in mind. How will it feel to be inside your dwellings? Will the ceilings be tall, which will create an open, more spacious feel? Or will the ceilings be low, which will create a private, more cozier space? Spatial awareness is how one can relate to a space inside the space. It's important to think about spatial awareness when designing your dwelling. Spatial awareness can inform you of how people and objects will move through your environment that you create. It's actually what makes your design a good place to live. For example, take this area that I'm in right now. It will feel completely different if there's a solid wall here instead of these garage doors. The garage doors definitely create a more open feel and more connection between the inside and the outdoors. You definitely want to think about how people progress through the spaces that you create. For example, let's look at the famous architect Frank Lloyd Wright. He definitely designed his dwellings to have a sequential feel, meaning that in his dwellings, you would enter a vestibule with a low ceiling in a cozier room. Then you will proceed into the living room, which will have high ceilings and lots of windows. This definitely created a contrast between space and a surprise for whoever walked through it. You can see that he added more interest to his dwellings by having different qualities of space. There's definitely a contrast between the smaller vestibule and the open area of the living room. It was even a surprise to come into a living room that had such a different feel from when you entered. Now let's go over a few quick tips on how you can design with spatial awareness in mind. What will the space be used for? Will it be a bedroom, a bathroom, a kitchen, a living room, or so on? How many people will occupy the space? Maybe for a bedroom, 1 or 2 people, but a living room is a space where people really gather in. I would think that for the bedroom, you might have a cozier space, maybe smaller, maybe not as high ceilings, and maybe less windows to create more privacy. For the living room, you might want it to feel more open, as there will be more people in there. So you might have more windows and higher ceilings. Also, how do your spaces connect to each other? Remember what I mentioned about Frank Lloyd Wright and how his spaces created a story. Would you want your house to feel the same, or do you want varying spaces? Also, will there be lots of rooms in your house, or will the spaces be divided by a partition wall, for example? Also think about any connections that you would like to make from the inside to the outdoors, and maybe connecting the interior spaces with the exterior spaces. Also keep in mind the scale of a human person in relation to the scale of your room and the scale of your building. Thanks so much for tuning into this video about spatial awareness. Good luck with your projects.